Understanding types of pill pressures can help you understand what your friends may influence your decisions. There are different types of pill pressure. There is negative pill pressure, which is being pressured into doing bad habits like drinking, smoking, doing drugs, and breaking the law. This can happen both directly and indirectly. Direct pill pressure is when a friend asks you to have a drink, smoke a cigarette. It's a really strong type of pill pressure that's really hard to say no to, because one may feel losing his or her friends or be made fun of for saying no. Then there's indirect pill pressure, which you might see people drinking, having fun, partying. No one's asking you directly to do so. It might seem easier to say no to it, but it's equally as hard and able to still do it, so you want to fit in, be one of the cool kids. Then there's positive pill pressure, which one of your friends may try to have you excel in class, lift you up and motivate you to do better than the way you're currently doing. Sadly, this isn't the most commonly type of pill pressure, because negative pill pressure is the most common.
Many parents think that the teenage years are the time when peer influence takes over the influence of the parent. But that's not true. Adolescents' relationship with their parents are the phototype for the relationship with their peers. Healthy communication and support from the parents raise the chances for good peer relationships. It's only when the parents are harsh and neglectful that the peer influence takes the main role in the adolescent's life. Adults can be unaware of the adolescent's desire for the respect from their peers, as well as the influence peers have on them. For example, a middle schooler refuses to wear her jacket to school in the winter. It's not until she's in high school that she tells them she didn't wear her jacket in middle school because she wanted her peers to think she was tough.
There are pros and cons to social networking. With the pros, it usually brings friends together in adolescence, which is obvious in texting, emailing, and even video games. And these kids are at least as extroverted and socially connected as other adolescents. It is a lifeline for those who are isolated because of their sexual orientation, culture, religion, or even native language. And it can be helpful because it is frequently anonymous. Also, it can literally save lives, such as kids with diabetes. They can monitor their insulin via cell phone, talk to their doctors with Skype, and also talk to other kids with diabetes. With the cons of social networking, kids can always stay connected. They don't know how to say goodbye. So it continues on their way home from school, which leads to cyberbullying, so kids are no longer safe at home. Also, they can be more comfortable and then less sensitive to situations, such as sexting. Many teens are not comfortable enough to engage in sexual activity with another person, so they end up sexting. And also, there is identity crisis. So someone else can lead a double life on social media compared to how they are in real life.
Peers are often beneficial, but they can lead one another into trouble. Peers sometimes provide deviancy training, whereby one person shows another how to rebel against social norms. Problematic behavior, school marginalization, and low academic performance at age 11 leads to gang involvement 2 years after, and violent behavior by age 18 or 19. Teens select friends with values and interests they share, abandoning friends who follow other paths. Friends facilitate destructive or constructive behaviors. It's easier to do wrong or right with the help of friends. Happy, energetic, and successful teens have close friends who themselves are high achievers with no major emotional problems. Those who use drugs, sexually active, and are alienated from school choose compatible friends. The U.S. study found that tough and alternative crowds felt that teenagers should question every adult rule, whereas the prep crowd agreed with the parental authority.
Heterosexual youths worldwide avoid the opposite sex in childhood and are attracted to them by adulthood. Adolescents will select romantic partners by their traits that peers prefer rather than their individual traits. Romantic relationships can bring a lot of emotional ups and downs for the adolescent. An identity crush is someone the adolescent admires and wants to be like, and a romantic crush is someone that they have romantic feelings for. Most teenage romances do not involve sexual intercourse. Sexual orientation refers to the direction of a person's erotic desires. The DSM-5 no longer has a category called gender identity disorder.
Breakups are common, as are unreciprocated crushes, and they can be devastating and cause the adolescent's feelings to be hurt.
We are here to talk about sex. We all know growing up is hard, and growing up into a young adult, well, that's just the worst, especially when it comes to puberty. Emerging adulthood is when the sexual reproductive system is at its strongest. Girls can start menstruating anywhere from 8 to 12 years old, and boys, well, they hit puberty when they orgasm. As much as our bodies are screaming, yes, we gotta be strong enough to say no. Now we're gonna talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's start with the good. At this time, looking for acceptance. Boys and girls are trying to form relationships. All know that they come and go. This can cause some emotional stress. Some scientists explain that those who engage in casual sex can trigger the brain system for attachment, leading to complex, unanticipated emotional entanglement with psychologically and socially unsuitable mating partner. The purpose of sex falls into 3 categories. First, well, there's reproduction. Second, there's relationships. Half of the people in the US believe that the main purpose of sex is to strengthen pair bonding. This is the dominant belief in the emerging adulthood scene. So everyone knows how it goes. You start dating, then you fall in love, and then you commit yourself to each other, then you have sex, and then you move in with each other, and then, things go on. Marriage, parenthood, life is dandy. And lastly, it's for recreation. Some people just think it's fun to do. Some people enjoy it so much that they believe sex is a fundamental human drive and a highly pleasurable physical and mental experience. Now that we understand the purpose of sex, here's the bad. Teen pregnancies have become so popular ever since MTV had Teen Mom and 16 and Pregnant come on. Way to start your middle childhood or your emerging adulthood. At this time in your life, emerging adulthood, you don't really know what you want or what you're doing or where you're going. So this is probably not the best time to bring a child into your life. And so that's where protected sex comes in. Now here's the ugly part of sex. STIs, sexually transmitted infections. Most emerging adults nowadays have had at least one. Many have had several. The best way to prevent STIs is lifelong monogamy. That's probably not going to happen. So the next best thing would be serial monogamy, where you dedicate yourself to the person that you choose to spend the rest of your life with, and use a condom every time, not without fail. And that will prevent you from STIs and unexpected pregnancies, and hopefully not cause you too much stress.